Hello, welcome in everybody. My name is Laura from Tenacious Taurus Twin Flame Tarot, and this is going to be a message for the Twin Flame Collective. Normally on Monday, I post a weekly forecast. I am going to talk a little bit about the energies coming in this week for the twins, but what I really want to talk about is how you can use this eclipse energy to level up on your twin flame journey. And so we have the total solar eclipse happening today. I did go into detail and talked about the eclipse in the daily message, which I will post a video card throughout the reading, and there will also be a link at the end. If you didn't see the daily message, you're gonna want to go and check it out. And so this week for the twins is huge, I feel. So we have the eclipse going on today, and I was shown the Sun card with the King of Wands. We also have the Sun conjunct Chiron, and what came through sitting in those energies was the Sun with the Queen of Wands. And so the King and Queen of Wands are visionary leaders. They are here to shine a light. I feel this Judgment Day energy coming in. On Wednesday, we have Mars conjunct Saturn, which is bringing forward this healing energy of temperance with the Page of Cups. And so this is the week where I feel if that new love offer is coming, it's coming this week. On Thursday, April the 11th, we have the Sun conjunct Mercury at 22 degrees 32. This is the Fool with the Six of Wands. I just want to say, like, victory is here for the taking, but we do have to be willing to take a risk. We do have to be willing to take action towards what it is we want in our lives. We got to stop looking back at the past. We got to stop recreating these negative cycles through these negative emotions. And then on Friday, we have Uranus trine Lilith at 21 degrees 21. It's double the world, double the fun, double the dose of a reality check, I feel. And if you think 21 breaks down to 33, this is a master teacher week, I feel, for the twins. Not to mention, on Monday next week, we do have Mercury conjunct Chiron for the second time as Mercury works its way through Aries, this time in retrograde. So we are in a portal this week of deep emotional, spiritual healing. So let's talk about this, how we can use this eclipse energy this week to level up on the journey. But before doing that, please feel free to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to like the video, comment on the video, share the videos. It helps to circulate the content, helps the channel to grow, and it lets me know that you like the messages that I put out there, and it just makes me want to put out more. So let's talk about this. Eclipses do bring endings. Endings do bring new beginnings. And so for twin flames and eclipses, we got to learn to work with these energies, with these forces. And so we can take any challenges we're facing and turn it into a potential to create positive long-term benefits. And so how can you face any challenges? Kind of just face them head on. And so we're kind of in this time of rupture or rapture, so to speak. That's going to bring major sudden shifts, major sudden epiphanies. It can be extremely challenging for a lot of people, but it can bring about a lot of positive change through a lot of chaotic breakdowns. And so our path right now, I feel, is extremely heightened with sensitivity, with emotions. And so any work we do right now to bring positive change into our life will really help us realign with our purpose. So the cosmos kind of do their thing up there at this time. And it does have a deeper effect than normal on everybody, and we see it going on every day, and it's hard to maintain composure in these energies. And so if we can figure out how to work consciously with what's going on with the immense shifts in the cosmos, then we can kind of be ready for this unwanted change, because a lot of times eclipses bring unwanted change, or you know, you might have a blind spot and be like, oh my God, how did I not see that coming? And so I think the eclipse is pushing for an ending of some sort. I know for my own personal life, it's pushing for an ending, clearing up some stuff from about 3 years ago. And so whatever's outworn, its use or its time, or, you know, its lesson in your life, it kind of needs to leave if we're going to reach some type of divine harmony after this eclipse. So anything leaving your life right now, you need to trust it's for your highest good, whether you make the choice to cut it out or something just leaves your life unexpectedly. Do not allow lower ego-driven karmic energy to override what you know you need to do. Because we are timeline shifting is what's happening. We're timeline shifting. So connections are going to be dramatically brought to an end, especially if you're still in a karmic path or a karmic timeline. And that will likely end dramatically. And I already had my dramatic ending last week. And so it's this pushing, pulling feeling. We're going to be feeling pulled. We're going to be feeling pushed. And so this happens when we are going through a very dramatic shift, which is what eclipses bring into our lives. And so we kind of have an advantage because we already know this, right? If we're attuned and we already know, then, it's not an excuse to go and behave poorly. But oftentimes eclipses trigger very intense emotional reactions. And then you got to self-reflect and you got to recognize, hey, I don't want to keep playing into that pattern. And so right now, I think we're in a very rare portal, especially due to all of the powerful alignments of the current planets. And so how this affects you is going to vary in different degrees based on the work you've done, the karmic path that you chose, and how much work you've done to prepare for this leveling into these higher timelines. And so there's a lot of intense things happening, a lot of things happening for sure. And so it's going to be really easy to get dragged down, to get triggered. And so we don't want to miss out on the opportunity, right? We don't want to miss out on this opportunity. So the first thing that we need to do, because these eclipses are so forceful, it is about releasing. So you have to let the past go. You have to let the past leave your life, whether it's a pattern, a person, or a way that you've been living your life in society. Anything that isn't working for your mission has to be left behind. And so this eclipse is pushing for the release or the destruction of the old world, or anything that was created under false desires or false pretenses. And so anything that was created in falsities is not the desire of the soul. It's the truth of the ego, but not the truth of the soul. And so we have to finally deal with jobs that have outworn their purpose in our lives, habits for sure. I already released drinking, smoking, all of those good things, right? All of those bad things that make you feel good because you're masking. Outworn beliefs need to be adjusted, thoughts, relationships, and any type of toxic dynamic, right? With schools too. And so other people, family members. And so we don't realize how much we are clinging to something that isn't working until we feel the weight be released of that unwanted energy in our lives. And so our souls right now in the universe is kind of putting us in a pressure cooker, I feel, during these times, to divinely redirect us to our higher path and to what is going to bring us the most joy, contentment, abundance, and happiness. And so no matter what is going on, trust that the universe is working to help you, to not hinder you. And so it feels tough. It's going to be tough. Change isn't easy, but this is what our soul agreed to work through the old earth and to go into new earth. And this is what we came here for, to experience this ascension and this shift as twin flames. And so many of us are being confronted with things that we have stuffed under the rug for a long time. There can often be a feeling of a very violent ending too, especially if you've been clinging to something that needs to leave and you don't want to let it go. And so there can be a feeling of a very violent ending, especially if you don't want something to leave your life, even though you know it's toxic for you and it's not for your highest good. And this can include your own shadow self. And trust me, I fought and thrown punches with my shadow self many times throughout the years since my awakening. And so we do need to stay anchored in reality, though, at the same time. We need to stay anchored in our purpose. And so the eclipse's purpose comes in to strip you of everything not of your highest good, so you can get back in the flow of the true highest purpose and process that you came here for. And so we need to remember we are spiritual light beings. We are always supported by the divine, even when we feel we are not supported. But we have to be open to perceiving the spiritual downloads. And so when we know who we are, when we focus on our truth, and when we ground that truth, we need to understand we all have like a divine script that we came here to follow. We have a divine contract, a soul contract. We have a soul path. And so we don't always follow our path. Sometimes we veer away and we take detours, right? Because the journey is a spiral. It's not linear. Eventually we come back to our highest good, but sometimes we get so misaligned, we lose our alignment, we get stuck, we stay stuck in a mistruth. It gets really hard to go back to the truth. And so it's extra important right now to not lose that inner alignment, to stay focused and authentic in your truth right now, because a lot of people are losing resonance with old earth, and people are going to be lashing out and losing their minds. And so how can you just focus on realigning is a big message, because then we're a magnet to unity, right? And our highest path. So tap into your soul's blueprint, which I think is happening for a lot of us right now. That's usually what happens during eclipses, is an activation of a blueprint or soul memory, for sure. Use this time to set your highest intentions. I never do encourage manifesting through eclipse portals, because eclipses kind of come to bring the most beneficial shifts during the eclipse period, but it is still useful to set intentions, I feel, to set high intentions of your path moving forward. New moons are always about setting intentions, but at the same time, we have to flow through whatever needs to be written out or written off of our story. And so when we become used to mastering our energy, and we have that set, solid inner intention, then we can flow through these energies actually quite easily. We can ride the waves of the cosmic currents very easily, 1111, when we are aligned in our highest path. And so a lot of people are just beginning the journey. A lot of us have been on the journey for a long time, but it might be helpful to write things out this week of what it is that you want to invite into your life. Let go of what needs to go, and then really sit with, what do I want to invite into my life? What do I want? What is for your highest good? So the key is not to focus on the negative, but to focus on the positive and the little daily habits to create major change related to your life purpose. So the full moon eclipse came, and it showed you what you needed to release from your life, from your highest good. And so the new moon eclipse, I think, is bringing forward a lot of temporary issues to the surface, because it's a total eclipse. It's like a total eclipse of the heart, total eclipse. And so I think these universal powers are about to shift a lot of us in powerful ways. So how can you invite things in? Invite in a dream job, a dream vacation, a dream lover. Stop focusing on the past. Focus on what brings you joy, what brings you happiness. Focus on the highest good for all, because it's not just about yourself, although the Aries energy is self energy. Focus on your life purpose. Focus on clearing your issues. Focus on activating the flow of energies. Because when we align to wholeness of self, we're really ready to embrace these changes. And so be willing to embrace changes, I feel, because in order to up level, we have to embrace changes. In order to timeline jump, we have to make a decision. We have to follow through with that version of reality that we want to create in our lives. So it's all about change. So I think a lot of people are struggling. I see it. I can hear it in the comments. I see it on Facebook when I scroll Facebook. I know from the people that have been reaching out, things have been hard. People are struggling. And when we struggle, it's because there's resistance to the change. Instead of opening up to the highest good and opening up to the change, we resist it, and then we struggle. So if we embrace the change, then there's not a lot of struggle. But we need to know that instability and breakdown of anything false is natural when it comes to change, because change is the only constant in life. 1331. So pay attention to your inner guidance this week is a big message. I know the energy leading up to this eclipse has been very difficult. So whatever is coming up for release, just let it release and stay in your highest alignment as best as you can. As within, so without, right? As above, so below. And so you hear that saying all the time, as above, so below, as within, so without. So that is a spiritual truth that all sages know. And it's been since ancient scriptures. And so our inner world is always going to be reflected back in our outer reality somehow, some way, some shape, some form. And so everything is energy. So when we vibrate and raise our frequencies, and the earth raises her frequencies, we have to subtract anything that isn't aligned with these higher frequencies. And so right now there's a lot of energy shifting. When we are shifting realities, we have to receive a new vibration. And so right now we are also learning the law of attraction, I feel. So right now, to make the most of these energies, I notice 1441 now. Just tap into the potential that's available. Allow this eclipse to shift you. Allow the forces to deliver you to your highest change, to your highest good, all while receiving a new alignment. So it's kind of like baptizing a cat at times if you're resistant to the change. But I think above all, during the energies this week, trust that there's forces at work to break down what's in the way, to realign you to what it is that you are here to receive. And so sometimes what feels like a breakdown is to just get us to our highest alignment. So there's a lot happening. So I think right now the biggest thing we can do to stay in our highest alignment is to choose the light over the shadow self, to choose love over fear, no matter what is going on. So I think I'm just going to leave it like that this week. I think it might just serve everybody well to go within and trust in your own inner guidance. Go check out the daily message. I went into detail about the eclipse energies, and I do look forward to seeing you all again next time. But I think this might be a week of us all just trusting our own inner guidance moving forward, and that's kind of what I got today, guys. So I really hope this helped. I hope this resonated. If you'd like to book a personal reading with me, I do encourage you to check out the description box below. And I hope you all have a wonderful week ahead. Thank you. And I look forward to seeing you all again next time.